What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with a brand new review for, I think we're gonna go ahead and do Life After Lockup. This is season 4, episode 50, and this is the season finale, you guys. So the episode is titled I Do, I Don't. Now, before we go ahead and get into this review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out of this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, who the fuck is this calling me? Hold on, you guys. Phone call. All right, you guys. So sorry about that. That was the emergency room that I went to the other day to get my ears checked out. But this season finale, you guys, honestly, they should have kept this episode. They should have kept this season, because this season finale for me, it fell flat. It was 2 hours too long for me. And I really want my 2 hours back. Actually, I want my 4 hours back, because I watched it last night. Then I had to watch it again this morning to take my notes. And I just want that time back for watching this boring ass episode, right? So this episode, I think I'm going to go in order of my notes. So first up, we got Lindsay and Blaine, you guys. So remember in the last episode that with Lindsay and Blaine, that Blaine, you know, him and Lindsay had that argument with each other, right? And you guys remember that Lindsay was like, if you take my car, if you take any one of my cars, I'm going to have your ass thrown in jail, basically, right? And she left. So Blaine is pissed off because, you know, of the way that Lindsay came at him. And honestly, I don't blame him in the slightest bit, right? Because I would be pissed off too, right? You're not going to sit here and be disrespectful like that. Because that was the thing with me when it came to Lindsay, is how completely disrespectful she was, right? So Lindsay ended up calling him on the phone and saying, you know, she wants him to come by the house and she wants to talk to him. There would be absolutely nothing in this world that Lindsay could say to me, because it's like, you threaten my freedom because you're pissed off about something. Like, no, I would have told Lindsay to kiss my ass, right? But nope. Blaine decided that he's going to go meet up with Lindsay and have a conversation with Lindsay. Once again, Blaine is a better person than I could ever be, right? So, yeah. On his way to go see Lindsay, his lawyer called him, right? Now, this is where I have a little issue with Blaine and Lindsay's storyline, because if you guys remember, with Blaine and Lindsay's storyline, it was a thing of he was going to be going to jail for, he's looking at up to 19 years in prison, right? Then the lawyer told him in order for him to move or do anything, he needed $15,000, right? So then he got Blaine a house arrest for 3 years, right? So now that Blaine has, you know, on house arrest, paying his restitution down and everything, now he can get that ankle monitor removed from his leg. But he needs another $3,000. I was like, so is that $3,000 on top of the $15,000 that you needed in order to do anything in the first place? Because I'm so confused by this storyline. How did we go from him almost having 20 years in prison to we can get you on the ankle monitor to, oh, now we can damn near get this ankle monitor off? So, like, this storyline just makes absolutely no sense to me. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, right? So Blaine, he was upset. You know, at one point he was talking about all the things he's done for Lindsay since she's been out of prison, and now she's talking about, oh, you know, the roles have basically flipped. Well, I mean, girl, he ain't got a job. If he got a job, it's probably part-time, because he can't really, you know, move around the way he would like to move around because he has a ankle monitor on. So I don't know what Lindsay was expecting or what she wanted from him, right? But go off, sis, right? So he gets to their place that they have, right? I still want to know what time period this house, this dilapidated ass thing was built, right? So they get there. They had a heated argument, right? But I love the fact that Blaine put his foot down and told Lindsay, like, hey, at this point, my dude, he didn't say my dude, but at this point, like, you're going to have to, he was like, at this point, you're going to have to show me some, you're going to have to treat me with some respect, treat me like a person. And I was like, Blaine, put your motherfucking foot down, right? So at one point, he told her, like, when you got out of prison, when Brenda didn't want you to stay with her, I said you can come stay with me. When this and this and this and this and that happened, like, I picked you up from prison. I was the one that did this for you. I was the one that did that for you. I was like, well, Blaine, Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam mixed together, put your fucking foot down. Then he told her, I don't have a pretty little pussy that I can use. I was like, oh, he using that one, but he one line though, right? Because, let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. When it comes to Lindsay, Lindsay has used her looks to get her what she wanted, right? Scott. She used her feminine wiles to lure in Scott. Deontay, I don't even know what to say about that one because I honestly think that was a fake storyline. But I think at some points it might have become real. But Lindsay is used to using her looks to get what she wants, right? So I wasn't really too mad at Blaine about saying that. But she, however, was pissed off at Blaine. And I actually want you guys to tell me what you think about that situation. Are you team Lindsay or are you team Blaine? Let me know down in the comments section below, you guys. At this point, I just don't really care. Like I said, he told Lindsay what Tyler told him about the fact that he can get that ankle monitor removed from his leg, but he's going to need an additional $3,000. That's really all I got. They could have kept that scene of them making out with each other and then going toward the bedroom. Now, let me know in the comment section because I was hella confused looking at that scene because they were in the bed at one point. I don't know if he was jackhammering her or if the bed broke itself, but that's all we got for Lindsay and Blaine. So, can we X this couple off? Like, don't bring them back for another season, please, and thank you. I would be entirely happy if that were the case. Don't bring them back. So let's pause here and move on to the next couple. All right, you guys. So next up is Amber and Puppy, right? You guys remember the last time we left off with Amber and Puppy that Amber was at the house. She was packing up all her stuff and she was getting ready to get out of Dodge, right? So TC showed up and they got into a little bit of a heated argument, right? Now, We TV production, did y'all have to pan that camera around to show us that apartment, that house, that spot that was on the floor, them dirty dishes? Did y'all have to embarrass them like that? Because that was a little embarrassing. Let's just be real with each other, right? So, like I said, they got into an argument. Amber was talking about the fact that TC had recently told her that he wasn't attracted to her. She needed to do something different with her life and basically blamed her for the situation with the baby, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that I blame Amber, right? Excuse me, y'all. I'm not going to sit here and say that Amber's at fault for having the miscarriage. If Amber's life was in jeopardy, then I'm always going to say, even when it comes to abortion, even if it's not life-threatening or anything like that, if that's a decision that you make for yourself and your body, then go off. Do what you need to do, right? Now, I just have a lot of questions when it comes to Amber because, remember, Amber was telling us that she has this liver issue, right? And I'm not knocking that and I'm not disputing that. But here's my thing with Amber. If you have a bad liver, why are you drinking? Because this episode, I noticed that you had a beer in your hand. I thought for a minute that it might have been a Red Bull, but I'm like, that's not a Red Bull can. I thought that was a Michelob can. Excuse me, y'all. I felt like that was a Michelob can. I don't know for a fact, but I know that there was alcohol and you were smoking. You were smoking, so I just have a lot of more questions than I just have a lot of questions. So now, Amber and TC got into a real heated argument when Amber said, I'm going to take that truck. He was like, you ain't going to take my motherfucking truck. That's my truck. My name is on that truck. You ain't taking that damn truck. She was like, and so is mine. She said, I put down $5,000 worth. He said, I did too. I was like, wait a minute now. If TC didn't care about nothing else, that mother cared about that damn truck. He was serious about that truck. You not taking his truck. So Amber, you can try it, right? So eventually Amber and TC, they were able to calm down. They sat down, they had a conversation. He told her how he felt about the baby, how, when she told him she was pregnant, he had already planned out the baby's name. And, he could see the baby running around the house. Why couldn't you just kind of have said that? I mean, I get that some people are not open with their emotions and whatnot, but you could have easily said that a long time ago. But it is what it is, So I thought when I had the little break, I'm like, oh, Amber gonna stay. She said, nope, I'm still leaving. Deuces, because at the end of the episode, it said that Amber is now living with Puppy and with and Queen, right? And that Puppy is still selling out. She's still looking for a job, so she's still selling her stuff to pay for living with Queen. Y'all, I don't even remember what happened with Lindsay and Blaine. I don't care what happened with Lindsay and Blaine. But let's pause here and go ahead and move over to the next couple. So, next couple up is the deadbeat and the murderer, you guys. So, with the deadbeat and the murderer, I would be fine never seeing them again, right? So, the deadbeat is helping the murderer. Actually, no, the murderer is actually getting ready for her surgery for her breast augmentation, right? So, the deadbeat is asking her, so, you're really moving up your appointment. She was like, I was on a wait list for a later date, and I just decided to move it up. So the deadbeat feels like the murderer is doing this for Anthony. I was like, oh, you're that insecure that you think that just because you guys met up with Anthony, that she's doing this for him. Something that somebody pointed out in my video last week or the week before that I had not been thinking about when it comes to the murderer? The fact that she keeps talking about Anthony being a part of their daughter's life, but girl, you're a part-time mother. You're a part-time mom. Your mother has your daughter. What are you doing to get your daughter back? I just had that question. What is the murderer doing to get her fucking daughter back? Like, I have that question. Man, what are you doing to get your child back? We're gonna leave it at that, right? So she says that no, she's getting this breast augmentation for herself, right? Because she had low self-esteem. I was like, don't you think you need to go to counseling first to work on that self-esteem issue? Because getting bigger boobs is not going to help your self-esteem. It's not going to make you feel better as a woman. Getting bigger boobs just means you got bigger boobs. Like, I didn't understand her talking about. I get some. I know why most people do it, right? They want to feel like the person they should, like, when it comes to trans people, right? They want to feel like the person they felt they should have been. Like, some people feel like I should, feel like, hey, I should have had bigger boobs than what I got, or hey, I should have smaller boobs than what I got, right? People get breast enhancements, people get breast reductions, right? But when it comes to getting breast implants, right? I know that they do an evaluation with people before they even do it, right? But it was all pretty surface and trivial. But you know what? If she's happy, I really don't care. Because y'all know how I feel about her, that I don't like her, right? So the deadbeat is mad at her mama because her mama didn't tell him about Anthony, but that wasn't her mama's place. And her mother also told her that she should have told you. So when her mama's she went up, so they dropped the baby off at her mama's house, right? And she told her mama, and she was like, oh, she said she don't care and called Sean a bitch. I was like, touche. I agree that the deadbeat is a bitch, right? So, I mean, he's so insecure. So insecure. But I mean, if you look like him, I would imagine so too, right? So we can be done with them. We saw her after she got her boobs done. I don't give a damn. The one thing I do want to make note of when she left the hospital was when they do surgery on you and they had it. I don't know what it's called, but whatever, she did not wipe her neck down. I was like, oh my God, Will y'all stop showing her, turning her head, because you can literally see all that skunk on her neck. And it's just like, oh my God, girlfriend, I know you just had surgery. I'm pretty sure it was outpatient, right? But you could have asked somebody to give you a towel with some soap and water so that you can just, clean your neck up. But it is what it is, right? I don't know how their story ended because I honestly, God, don't care. The deadbeat and the murderer can be done on this show too, right? I don't have to look at them ever again on this show. So let's pause here and move on to the next couple. Oh my God. This episode, like when I say this episode, they could have kept it. They literally could have kept this episode. And like I said, it was 2 hours long. And I don't understand why it was 2 hours long, because I found myself bored throughout the entire episode. There was one scene in this episode that I can tell you guys that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I'm pretty sure you guys can guess which one it is. But we'll get to them when we get to them. Taylor and Chance, you guys. They could have kept this scene. I don't care about Taylor or Chance, right? I do feel bad. I do feel for Taylor, right? I do think that Taylor is, dealing with postpartum depression. I also just think she's dealing with regular depression as well, right? Postpartum depression, insecurities. Like, I feel like she's dealing with a lot of things all bottled up into one. And her soon-to-be fiance, her soon-to-be, oh girl, you should not, oh girl, if you indeed have a brain and common sense, you wouldn't marry this man. Nothing good will come from a marriage with Chance. Let's just keep it real with each other. Nothing good will come from that marriage. You will be going into a marriage with someone who is terrible with finances and is in deep debt. His debt will then become your debt. Do what's best for you and your kids and don't marry that man. Y'all can be common law husband and wife to the day both of y'all are dead and gone. But girl, as far as marrying him, I would utterly say don't do it. Like I would highly implore you not to do it. Like honestly, I really would, right? So he stayed with his friend, right? Now, you see how easy it was for him to tell his friend that he got laid off? It ain't that hard, dude. Just say the little word. I'm about to say 5-letter word, but just say, I lost my job. Just say, I lost my damn job. I'm pretty sure Taylor would be like, okay, well, we got to figure something, we'll figure it out. Like, and then you had a plan where you were doing either Postmates or Grubhub or whatever you were doing. I think you were doing one of those delivery services, right? Actually, you were delivering groceries, right? That's not bad. If you get up and actually put the time into it, you can make some really good money. So it really wouldn't have been it's not a bad thing, but it might not have been paying the bills because again, you're in debt. But I don't even know, like, you were talking about how much money you make from that job that you got laid off from. But if you make that much money, how are you in so much debt? That just means you're not good with money and finances. And I'm sorry. Again, I just couldn't be in a relationship with somebody that's not good with finances in that way, where you make so much money, but you don't have. But when you come home with a paycheck, you shell out more than what you bring in. You have more debt than what you're bringing in. Your debt to income ratio, it ain't adding up, and that would be a hell to the no for me. Where your debt to income ratio, no. You should not have more debt than what you're bringing in, and it is what it is, right? I ain't got nothing else to say, right? I love the fact that his friend told him that he needs some structure in his life, right? That this drinking that you're doing, you need to go sit down and talk to somebody. He looks strung out. Like when he was sitting there talking to his friend, I'm like, damn, you really do look like you strung out on something. I'm not saying he's strung out on drugs, but I'm just saying you look like whatever the cat drug through the keyhole at this point, right? So his friend took him back to his car because he had to go to work, right? So he got in his truck. Now, what the hell was that when he started driving, I saw like a whole bunch of, it looked like a bunch of water just sloshed out the back of the bed. I was like, what the hell, did it rain? Did it pour down raining the night before? But he got home, he was sitting outside of the house and he called Taylor and he said, I'm sorry. I was like, girl, if you stupid enough to, well, you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants, right? But I wouldn't accept that apology. I just wouldn't accept it, right? I wouldn't be mad at him about the situation with Tanya. Now I know people felt like Tanya might be like his side piece, right? He says Tanya's not a side piece, that Tanya's just a friend of his, right? I will choose to believe what he says for right now, right? Until we see otherwise. Now, the thing that kind of throws me with Taylor, not Taylor, but with Chance is the fact that if this, the thing that makes, I see why people can say that Tanya might have been a side piece is because of the fact that if this is your friend, why doesn't your wife to be know about it, right? And you guys, let's go back to when we first met Taylor and Chance, right? He was so jealous. He was so jealous. He wanted to know who Taylor was talking to, right? He was always want to know what was going on her phone. But now you're the one that's being secretive, right? So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We TV, listen to me and listen to me closely, right? This couple right here, you guys can keep them. I never want to see Taylor and Chance again. They don't bring any kind of enjoyment to me watching this show. Not a one. They can go to. So we're going to pile up this list on who can go from Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup. Taylor and Chance, they can go. The Murderer and the Deadbeat, they can go. Lindsay and Blaine, they can go. Let's pause here and move over to the next couple. Now, you guys, this is the part of the episode that I tell you guys that I actually enjoyed. Eris and Cameron. It is so interesting when I think about Cameron and Eris. I remember seeing Cameron and Eris on Love After Lockup, right? And when we found out she had her daughter Lena, and the fact that she was in a relationship with Cameron, and she was marrying Cameron right after he got out of jail from getting, he went to the halfway house, he got thrown right back into jail. She picked him up, he proposed to her, and they got married. And I have always said this about Cameron, right? I didn't think that he was a bad guy, but I didn't think that Eris was making the most rational decision. And I'm so glad that Cameron has really changed and done a metamorphosis of such, right? That he's morphed into a different person. And I actually will say he's morphed into a better version of the person than we met, right? Because this could be a completely different situation where Cameron got out of jail. Cameron could have, continued to do the things he did and went on a downward spiral, and that wouldn't have been good for Lena or for Eris, right? But I have to say that watching this entire season of Life After Lockup, leaving this season, Cameron is my favorite person, right, you guys? I have a deep respect for Cameron. I do still think that when it comes to Cameron, there are some things that Cameron needs to work on. When it comes to some things, there are some things that he does need to work. He does need to work on, right? And I think with Eris, her dad and his sisters, I think that they gonna lead him on the right path to being the best version of Cameron, right? So his sister shows up. Now, Cameron, I had a little bit of an issue with you in this scene, right? Because now you want to tell your sisters, oh, the reason that Eris didn't come to the party when I got out of prison is because she was sick. And the sister's like, you didn't tell us that, right? You didn't tell us that, and now you're telling us this. And so we looked at her kind of sideways, but the sisters were on Eris' side, not like that. Now, the sisters, and speaking of the sisters, one of them, she tweeted me last night, and it's the one with the brave Steph. So Steph and the other, I forget what the other sister's name is, but when they brought Cameron that alcohol, I was sitting there thinking to myself, now why did y'all bring him some alcohol? Because in the same scene, they were telling Cameron that, yo, bro, you don't need to drink like that. And I was with Cameron. If you think I got a drinking problem, don't bring me the alcohol. And I was like, you can't argue with that. You really can't argue with that, right? So with his sisters, I will say though that I do love the fact that his sisters don't coddle him. His sisters don't make excuses for him. Whenever his sisters see an issue, they right there to call Cameron out, and I absolutely have the immense amount of respect for his sisters, right? So I also love the fact that Cameron kind of knows that he has a drinking problem, right? He has an addictive personality, and that he's talking to somebody. I was like, oh, wow. It's really interesting for me, you guys, because I didn't think that Cameron would turn into this person, right? Cameron has basically turned into a swan. And I really like Cameron. I really, truly do like Cameron. So they went out to eat, and it was the whole entire family, right? So it was his sisters, Lena, her Eris's dad, and Eris and Cameron, right? Now you guys remember that Eris already told her daddy that she was pregnant, right? So this was really supposed to be for them to tell the entire family that they were pregnant, but the sisters were the only ones who didn't know, but they were really happy to find out. And I love the fact that Eris's dad and his sisters, when Lena ordered a strawberry lemonade, right? And she was like, this isn't what I ordered. And I love the fact that Cameron, wanted to make things right for Lena, right? But when he started yelling at the lady, hey, sweetheart. And they were like, Cameron, you don't have to yell at her. And he was like, y'all right. Like you were, and I think his sister said, you being ghetto. And I was like, yeah, you're being up, you're being, I can't even think about the word, what I was about to say. But yeah, I don't want to say ghetto, but yeah, you're being a little bit, obnoxious. You're being obnoxious. I don't know how to think of that at the time. But yeah, you're being a little bit obnoxious. But I think that, like I said, when it comes to his sisters as well as Eris and her dad, I think Cameron's gonna be a good dude, right? Now, do I necessarily want to see Eris and Cameron come back? Not really. And I'm gonna tell you guys why I don't want to see them come back. It's nothing personal. I think that, Eris and Cameron are in a great space with each other, right? And I don't want Eris and Cameron to get to the space that Marcelino and Brittany have gotten to. I don't want to see them in a space like what was her name? The Black Mormon. Andrea and Lamar. I don't want them to get to that point like where Andrea and Lamar were, or where like Marcelino and Brittany are, right? I don't want them to get to that point. I want them to have their healthy, beautiful baby and be a happy family. That's all I want. I would love to see it on the show, but I don't want it to get to the point where we can see through the storylines, right? I want them to, because they look like they're in a very, very good space with each other. But that's really all I got for Eris and Cameron, you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so next up, let's go ahead and just get them out the way. Marcelino and Brittany, you guys. Oh my God, are they setting up another storyline for us? Please, for the love of God. WeTV, I'ma pray to you and God that there is not another season of Brittany and Marcelino. Because I don't think I can handle it. Because the way that they ended this season with Brittany and Marcelino, I was like, oh, hell to the no. So you guys remember that they were having a vow renewal ceremony, right? Well, Brittany's mom showed up and she was the officiant of their vow renewal. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess, right? I couldn't care less, right? They said they renewed their vows on the beach. Again, I didn't give a damn. So after they renewed the vows, we get another scene where Brittany is telling us that she went through Marcelino's phone and found out that he was texting another woman. I was like, you motherfucker. Not Marcelino or Brittany. I'm just saying you motherfucker as in really. So y'all grasping at straws at this point. I've told you guys none of these storylines with Brittany and Marcelino have been real. I feel like the last real storyline between Marcelino and Brittany was her mom being back on drugs. Because that woman was on drugs. That wasn't fake. Because that woman's pupils were dilated. So yeah, that woman was on drugs back then. But that storyline about her sleeping with her best friend and Marcelino together, that wasn't real. The storyline of them, having a threesome, the storyline of him still trying to sleep with the best friend, I'm like, that shit ain't real either, right? This season, I didn't believe anything with this. Oh God, I'm like, do we have to continue? Why do we continue to see Brittany and Marcelino? They're not that interesting at this point anymore, right? Their storylines have wrapped up. Can we please move the on? So that's why I say I feel like they were setting up for another season of this show. For the love of God, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So let's go down the line of the couples that I damn sure know for a fact I don't ever want to see again on this show. Marcelino and Brittany are top of the motherfucking list, right? They might not be number one, but they definitely number two. The deadbeat and the murderer, never want to see them again. Taylor and Chance, for damn sure don't want to see them again. And Lindsay and Deontay, damn sure don't want to see them again. I'm going to save number one for last, and you guys know who number one is. So let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Justine and Michael real quick, you guys. I'm kind of on the fence about Justine and Michael if I want to see them for another season. Part of me says yes, and part of me says no. And the majority of me is saying no, right? So why does Justine have the Bentley tattoo right here? The Bentley logo tattooed right here. I was like, oh. Now, mind you, the first time we saw them in this episode, they were in the little 30-second blurb when she was trying on the dress, right? But we find out that Michael has a performance that Mocha set up for him, right? At some kind of a bar. Michael is nervous about this performance. As far as his performance goes, I'm just going to say this to Michael. You guys know I like Michael and Justine. But when it comes to Michael, the music, sir. Hang it up. Hang it up. Go get a job. It's time to join the workforce, sir. I hate to tell you that, right? Another thing is that he's working on an album. He got another show. He did a music video. Has anybody heard the song? Because I ain't heard it. No shade to Michael. But again, please go get a job. He wants to re-propose to Justine. That's fine. That's fine. So they get to this performance that Mocha set up. I was like, did Mocha set this up, or is this a Mona Scott production? Because this very much so if you guys used to watch Love and Hip Hop, and back in the day, whenever the artists would have a showcase, right, and Mona would have them those paid extras there, that's what this scene gave to me. Nothing but a bunch of paid extras, right? And again, Michael, this is no shade, but the music, sir, it just wasn't that good. No shade. Not trying to be mean or rude. It just wasn't that good to me personally. But that's really all I got for Justine and Michael. I know that their baby is due anytime. I know their baby, I think it's due in July, right? I could be wrong. I don't know. But when Michael proposed to Justine, Mocha was not happy. I'm like, dude, do you want to be with him? Because it really does give my man is with another woman. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we're going to pause here and wrap up this episode. Oh, you guys. Last but not least, Monique and Derek. Go away from me with this Apollo. Go away from me with this Apollo, please and thank you. I am so tired of Derek and Monique, right? I never, ever want to see Derek and Monique. I never want to see this couple ever again in my life. This is their first season on this show, and already we can see through the bullshit and that it's fake, right? Because here's my thing with Monique. Because they're still currently together. From what we see on social media, they're still currently together, right? Mind you, she found out that Derek had cheated on her with the 10 women when we found out, and then she found out that he was still doing it when they went on Carlos King's podcast. And this dumb fool, never mind, shut up, let it go, JB, let it the hell go. So, he wants her to meet up with him, and she agrees like a dumbass. I was like, girl, you are so stupid. She is so dumb. Then she gets there and she got a whole damn attitude. I'm like, oh my God, Monique, girl, you really get on my last fucking nerve. So he apologized to her. Now, mind you, let me tell you what he said in this apology. He said to her that I apologize for talking to other women if that makes you feel uncomfortable. I apologize to you for talking to entertaining other women if that makes you feel uncomfortable. If, so circle if, underline that, makes you, and then let's circle uncomfortable. Those two words don't go together. Apologize if and uncomfortable. I apologize if it makes you feel uncomfortable, if you felt uncomfortable. That's not an apology. You're apologizing for talking to other women. Clearly it made her uncomfortable. So it ain't no if in there. It ain't no if. I apologize for talking to other women because, and you can even take out the uncomfortable part because that's a moot point. That has nothing to do with this. It ain't that you made her feel uncomfortable. You disrespected her and the relationship by stepping outside of the, oh Jesus, I can't with these two dumbasses. Oh God. So he asked her, what does she need from him, right? So she says, stop sleeping with your phone in your drawers. He said, fine, and I give you my passcodes. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on here, right? So then he eventually asked that woman to marry him. And like a dumbass, her ass say yes. I'm like, girl, you a dumbass. You are dumber than dumb. Jesus, get this show off my TV screen, and please, for the love of God. So when I said the number one couple that I definitely don't want to see, this is them. So we're going to go down the line of the couples that I damn sure oh Jesus, if they come back for another season of Life After Lockup. I feel like if the people that I don't want to see on this show come back for another season, I don't know how a review is going to go for another season of Life After Lockup if I have to look at Sarah and Sean. I said their names for once. The murderer and the deadbeat. Lindsay and Deontay. Ooh, wrong person. Lindsay and Blaine. Let's go. Lindsay and Blaine. I don't want to see them. If they come back, I won't even mention them. That's number one. The deadbeat and the murderer. I don't think I would mention them. I would. No. I won't talk about the deadbeat and the murderer either. Who else we got? Taylor and Chance. I probably won't talk about them either. Ooh. What kind of review would that be? Like, what kind of review would that be? So, yeah. And then we got Marcelino and Brittany. I damn sure won't talk about them. And then number one, Monique and Derek. What kind of review would that be? The only, like, from this cast, like, with this season, these 5 people, those 5 couples that I mentioned, I would have only discussed Amber and Puppy, Eris and Cameron, and Justine and Michael. That's 3 couples. That's 3 couples. And I'm still on the fence about Justine and Michael. I don't dislike them. I just don't want to. I don't know if I can do another season of them. But hey, that's the review, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video. And until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, you guys. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Now, I did see that. Now, here's my thing. Love during lockup. That one, I really want them to just get rid of love during lockup. I'm sorry. Love during lockup is the most boring of the iterations of after lockup, right? Life after lockup has its moments with people that we don't care for, right? Love after lockup, we have a whole batch of new criminals that we are getting introduced to, right? But love during lockup is the same. We're getting introduced to a whole batch of new criminals, right? But it's one-sided. We only see the person that's in the free world. Like, I don't want to see another situation like Louis and Melissa, and I damn sure don't want to see another. Oh my God, they didn't show her in the previews, but I know good damn well that they better not have Ty's crazy ass back for another season of Love During Lockup. I do not want to see Ty. Ty is an actress at this point. But that's all I got, you guys. I'll see you guys in July for a new season of Love During Lockup. Why? Bye, guys.